Hey guys, I'm Phil Morrison. So this video is going to be fully improvised and off the cuff. And first of all, um, I'm a guy who coaches other guys on how to become confident in social situations, especially if there's a guy who has social anxiety or shyness. I help them build their confidence up through various practices. And I also teach guys how to get dates, which might be dates in public, bars, everyday situations, you name it. And in this particular video, the message that I wanted to get across is something which might be controversial to some of you, depending on your prior experience with this. But I promise you that it's a true message and it actually works. So there's this concept called getting into state. And if you don't know what it is, I'll quickly explain what this actually means. So basically, your brain wants proof that you're safe in a particular environment before it unstifles you. So it's very, very common if you go into a new situation, new territory, your brain basically tells your body to shut down, right? And it causes anxiety because there's a fear that if you stand out and get noticed, something bad might happen to you. So essentially, if you go into a social situation, a lot of the anxiety that you're feeling is because you care about what others think about you. And the reason you care is because you feel that they have the ability to somehow threaten you. So it's a fear-based anxiety that you feel in these social situations. Now, getting into state is basically a technique you can use to dissolve this anxiety, and you'll feel great, you'll feel confident, you'll feel amazing. And it's great to experience this and see what the effects of it actually are, to really try it out, to embody it, and to play about it and have some fun, of course, as well. So if you want to get into a state, there's two main ways you can do it, but they're all based on the same principle. And the principle is simply proving to yourself that you're safe in the environment. That's the underlying principle. And you basically perform actions which are very, very bold, and they force other people to judge you. So you force other people to judge you so that you can see that you're fully safe even when you're standing out. Standing out doesn't affect your safety. It's fine. You're like, pinch your skin. Yep, still here, still alive. I just told that joke, which I thought maybe it might have crossed the line, but I told it anyway. I said my opinion. I went over there and spoke to this new person, and everything's fine. You're still alive and breathing. It's all good, right? So that's essentially the principle, and a few easy ways to do it that are very, very accessible. So let's say you go out in public or you go to a nightclub, a place where there's lots of people. So one way to get into state is to take lots of action in a very, very short space of time, which builds a nice micro momentum. And this translates into a temporary rise in confidence, and you'll feel great. If you've never tried this before, you'll feel fantastic, and you won't forget the experience. So what you can do, for example, is rapidly give out lots of compliments to girls in public within a short space of time. So you're like, hey, you look nice. Hi, I'm liking the dress. That really suits you. You've got great eyes. You look really, really nice today. Rapid fire, lots of action taken. And it basically shuts off that part of your brain which is constantly chattering and making excuses. And it shuts it off because you're taking so much action and you're so present in the moment. And the whole time you're basically proving to yourself on a subconscious level that you're safe no matter what. You take the action, nothing bad happens, nothing bad happens, nothing bad happens. And your brain takes away that fear, that anxiety. You feel liberated, you feel free, you feel more confident. And from this more confident place, you start to go and speak to girls, and you'll be like, holy shit, these girls that maybe didn't respond that well to you, or wouldn't respond that well to you normally, They're actually like hanging off your every word. They're drawn into you. They're clearly attracted. They're interested. And you can experience this in public, in nightclubs, bars, doesn't really matter. And it's basically your massive increase in confidence. You've really gone from your current general state to some sort of peak state, and it makes a massive difference. And it proves to yourself that confidence and feeling $1 million is what attracts girls, and your looks and your money, they don't matter at all. It's how you feel about yourself that actually makes the difference. And another way to get into state, if you're not a big fan of the passing compliment, rapid fire passing compliment method, which I personally actually like, I think it's a good way to experience it. A second way is self-amusement. And what this really means is doing something that makes you stand out, forces others to judge you, but you also find it really funny. You find it hilarious. And it can be really silly things that just tickle you. You know, one thing that I used to find funny was walking with a pretend gammy leg. So I'd have this like limp, this really sort of silly walk. Everyone around you can obviously see you walking silly. But the fact is, you're proving to yourself that you don't need to worry about what they think of you because it's all fine. And you'll see your confidence go up. You'll see your mood go up. You'll start to be laughing internally and feeling good. And you'll see that when you go out and start speaking to girls from this place, you really project that positive energy and you really get back what you put out. So you put out this positivity, this confident, clean energy, and the girls really reciprocate. They notice, they listen to it, and you'll see that confidence works. So they're two very accessible ways that you can experience getting into state, and it'll prove to you that that confidence and feeling great is what actually attracts the girls. This is fantastic. And when I first figured it out, I was like, fuck yeah, I've hit the jackpot. I've literally hit the gold mine. This is the answer. So all you got to do to get dates is go out there, get into state, start speaking to girls, and it's basically you're going to find loads of girls that like you. It's going to be really, really easy. And that is honestly what I bought into. But actually, I evolved past that. And I realized that it teaches you a valuable lesson getting into state, right? Being confident and feeling $1 million is what works. But going out there and getting into state to then go out and to then talk to girls, actually, it's not a good long-term solution. And I'm going to explain to you why. I have quite limited artistic ability. So bear with me. This will be an incredibly simple drawing. But hopefully it will get the point across. And I've just realized I'm going to have to do some mirror writing. But I hope that I think this will work. Okay. Right. So if you can see, there's two lines here, okay? Let me just correct this. This is not what I meant to really say. I see the problem here. Wait 1 second. I've totally got this. So what I wanted to say was that this bottom line here, right? This represents your baseline state, your baseline level of confidence, by which I mean the general level of confidence you have, your general mood, your general state on a day-to-day basis. So without doing any particular kind of state building activity, what your normal mood, your normal level of confidence is actually like. And let's say you go out there and you give out bare passing compliments, or you do some self-amusement and you get yourself into a peak state. This is the peak state when you're a lot more confident. And when you're in the peak state, you'll see that the girls respond to you better. People in general respond to you better because your energy is just on point. You're in the sweet spot. You're in the zone. You have the gift of the gab and everything just seems to work, right? But here's the flaw in the idea of going out there, getting into state, and then talking to girls, right? So what you're basically doing is you're communicating to yourself on a psychological level that you can't get girls by just being yourself. You need to elevate your mood to some peak state before you have the ability to then get girls. So actually, when you operate in this way, when you try to raise your general state temporarily and then go out and talk to girls, you're essentially keeping your baseline state low as it currently is. The baseline is not shifting at all. And the whole time you're reinforcing that you're actually not enough. That's what you're reinforcing when you approach going out there and talking to girls in public and getting dates in this particular manner. You become reliant on getting into state, and it's a crutch. And you feel that, well, if I wasn't in state, if I didn't do these little activities to spike my mood, to make me feel more temporarily confident, the girls wouldn't like me. And the problem is that you're never going to resolve this problem of your baseline level of confidence and state being low if you approach going out there and talking to girls in public in this way. And this is something that I learned, and it's really a harsh truth. But when you learn this truth and you can then start to work on raising your baseline. Okay, doing stuff that actually increases the baseline until your general level of confidence actually surpasses your previous peak level of confidence. You can do that, and I'm going to teach you exactly how you can do that. Of course, it's a more longer term process, and it's harder and requires more graft, but you can 100% shift your baseline state. And really, you need to feel good about yourself and learn how to feel great about yourself. So no more warming up to talk to girls in public. That's basically one thing that this could mean for you. If you're someone that goes out there, you give out some compliments and you start to warm up and then talk to girls, stop it. Just jump straight in. Be brave. Commit to the interactions. Don't be closed off. Be fully open, fully brave, and basically prove to yourself that you're enough just as you are. And the best way to do this, you may not like to hear this, but it is the truth. You basically face fear in an honest way. Face fear with honesty. That is literally the process by which you shift your baseline state upwards, so your general confidence improves, and then you have a much better ability to go out there and set up dates in public. So it's all about shifting the baseline, and so facing fear with honesty. Honesty is so important, because when you're honest and you say your actual opinions, what you're actually thinking, you're basically you're doing the same as when you gave out passing compliments or did some self-amusement. That's what you're doing. You're putting your personality out there to be judged by other people. And you're proving to your brain that you're safe when you're expressing yourself. But the difference here is you're expressing your actual self, your authentic self, okay? You're not using some gimmick or relying on a crutch, taking some silly, gimmicky action to improve your mood, right? You're being honest. And this, over time, it destroys all the social anxiety that you have. Just being honest, as simple as that. Being honest with people at work, your friends, your boss, your parents, honest with girls you talk to in public, honest in all these situations, and basically, as opposed to getting into a peak state and then talking to other people, which reinforces that you're not enough and keeps you down there, you're actually constantly psychologically communicating to yourself that you are enough. Because there's no higher place to act from than honesty. When you're honest, you're saying that, you know what? I don't need to be someone else in this situation. I'm fine just the way I am, and I'm going to say exactly what I'm thinking and trust myself. That is ultimate confidence, to be fully honest. Now, when I say fully honest, it's easy to fall into further traps, okay? Because people say that just be yourself is simultaneously the best and the worst advice when it comes to teaching guys how to go out there and get dates. And I would totally agree with that. It is the best and the worst advice. So you have to be honest from the right place. That's essentially the key. So you have to ask yourself, um, what is it that you're sharing and why are you sharing it? And also be aware of the context, right? So I'm just thinking of an example. So you don't want to be honest from a place of a victim mentality, where you're trying to make someone feel sorry for you. That would be really, really, really bad and not lead to a general increase in confidence. You need to own yourself and your life situation and be honest in a way that actually feels good. Okay. So you're going to be honest in a way that actually feels good. And it should feel therapeutic. It should feel cathartic when you express yourself in this way. And when you get this right, and you're being honest, and you're being honest from the right place, you'll see that just generally when you're talking to people, you'll be really enjoying yourself because it feels like a release. It's like a release of stress, a release of tension. Over time, anxiety just dissolves away. So it's about being honest from a strong place. So I'm trying to think of a great example now because it really translates when you're going out there in public and chatting to some girls. So, for example, if you say something like, "Oh, I'm having a really, really bad day today," if you say it like that, yes, you're being honest, but you're also dumping your um, negative emotions. You're burdening the girl that you're talking to, right? But if instead you own what you're saying and you actually was having a bad day, say, you know what, I am having a bad day today, but this happens sometimes and I'm fine with it. It's totally, totally cool. But I wanted to come over and give you a compliment anyway. If you say it like that, the girl doesn't feel burdened. Okay. So you're taking responsibility for your own life and how you feel. So I guess that is the crux of it, really. You want to be honest from a place of responsibility. And of course, I'm not saying go out there and offend people with honesty and um, just tear people down. Obviously, there's you have a set of values, right? You have ethical values, so you don't be unkind to people. Of course, don't go against your own values, and maybe your intention in some situations is just to be supportive. So you're not going to lie to someone, but you can be a bit diplomatic and say, I think you could do better at this, but there's still certain things that I do like about it, rather than saying this piece of work or this thing you're doing is terrible, right? So you can be socially aware and diplomatic in the way you express yourself and still be honest. And really, this is the key to improving your baseline state. So it's honesty, but it's also facing fear. And that's the key thing that I want to stress. So you want to actually go out there and do things that trigger fear in you, where you feel maybe uncomfortable, and still be honest in that situation. Because if you really think about it, let's say you have a massive fear of public speaking, super super common fear. And actually, on a little side, I'll tell you a joke about public speaking, which comes from a great sitcom, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Just remind myself how this joke goes. Don't want to mess this joke up. Yes, so Larry David, who's the main character, he says that um, the two biggest fears, right, in America, according to a survey. So the number one fear is public speaking, and the number two fear is your own death. So what this means is that the average American would rather be when there's a funeral happening, they would rather be in the casket than doing the eulogy. So that just kind of really points out that a lot of people find public speaking really scary. So let's say you go out there and you're like, right, I'm going to face my fear of public speaking. You sign up to an organization which will help you do this, like Toastmasters, or you do open mic nights. And I'm doing both of these things personally. So you go to your public speaking, and essentially you're afraid of being in this situation where everyone is judging you. What will they think if I mess up, if I stumble over some words, if I look stupid, if I embarrass myself, if I make a point which they don't agree with? What happens if in all these situations, right? You're worried about how people are going to perceive you. So if you want to improve your general confidence and you're afraid of public speaking, you can try out public speaking and make sure that when you're actually talking, you're just being yourself, not relying on any crutches at all. Literally just say what you honestly think about a certain topic. Don't edit, don't filter, just say it how it is. And what you're doing is you're proving to your brain that when you're yourself in this scary situation, nothing bad happens. It's fine to be yourself. And when you consistently do this over time, what happens is your brain fully unstifles you. And guess what? Now you're in what was your previous peak state all the time, right? You don't need to get into state to talk to girls. You're always feeling great, or almost all the time you're feeling great. Your general confidence has raised massively. So you want to go out there and pick things that you're afraid of, rational fears that you can face, and you want to be yourself in these situations and just really let your subconscious brain see that it's totally fine when you're yourself, when you're just being yourself, nothing bad happens. And this really is the key to building confidence over time. And it's also the key to building confidence when going out in public and talking to girls. So when I teach guys this skill set, I'm teaching a guy this at the moment, and he's improving a lot, doing really, really well. And I think he's close to getting some dates in the next session or two. And basically, the first 2 or 3 sessions, I do teach guys how to warm up to talk to girls. And I say 2 or 3 sessions. It depends on how advanced the person is and how quickly they're getting this. I can move on quicker if need be. So a couple of sessions where I teach them how to warm up just to get them over their approach anxiety and to get them in situations where they're talking to girls and they're seeing that, yeah, it's fine. They're talking to girls. They can also see that, because I get them into state, right? So they're feeling really, really good. They can see that when they're confident and feeling great, the girls are responding well to them. So it's really, really important to give guys this experience. So I start off teaching in this way. And then when it gets to the end of session 2 or session 3, if they're really, really scared to begin with, I'm like, right, now to level up, we have to drop warming up altogether and stop relying on any crutches. No crutches whatsoever. Completely shameless, completely unapologetically. Put yourself out there as you are, fully honest. Say your actual opinions, what you're really thinking. And then guys start to do this. And they notice that in the next couple of sessions, when I'm coaching them as well, they're doing so much better in their interactions. They're actually doing better than when they was in a peak state. Just through being really, really honest and putting themselves out there in an unapologetic way. So it's pretty amazing to kind of see this process work. And what I'm saying is that I have a short where I talked about warming up is a great way to go out there and start talking to girls in public. But at some point you want to drop it to level up. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. So you want to drop it and start to be honest from the right place, from a place of responsibility, from a strong frame, so that your baseline state, your level of general confidence starts to improve over time. And I also suggest several other activities you can do to improve your confidence. There's lots of positive lifestyle changes. I mean, right now, for free, I'll give you a great lifestyle change which will improve your confidence. Go to high-intensity exercise training classes twice a week. 2 40-minute blasts of exercise combined with a better diet. 3 months down the line, you're going to be a lot more confident. It makes you feel better, floods your body with endorphins, and your cardiovascular fitness improves. And when you exercise in this way, not so much pure weight training, bodybuilding, but high-intensity cardiovascular fitness, your confidence goes up a good notch. Your general confidence, that is. And you'll see that you'll be like, holy crap, I'm actually doing better in my interactions with girls. And it's because of the high intensity training that is literally directly impacted or indirectly impacted your general confidence. And and helps you out. So facing fear with honesty is a great way to build your general confidence, and also just positive lifestyle changes do this as well, like exercise, diet, and good sleep, meditation. There's so many things that can improve your general levels of confidence. But yeah, when it comes to this particular activity of being able to socialize in a confident way and get dates, it's really, really key to, at a certain point, drop the warming up altogether and stop relying on crutches. Start owning who you are fully, and go through the awkwardness, go through the phase where you feel really, really afraid, and you're just like, God, I feel so scared right now. And you'll be over there talking to girls and saying, I actually feel terrified right now, but I really wanted to say hi to you. You'll be at that level of honesty. And an interesting thing as well, which I want to add that has just sprung to mind, is a concept called honest signals. So if you want to go to a biological level and talk about this a bit deeper, I have a PhD in biology, basically. So for girls, having sex with a guy is a bigger investment than it is for a guy to have sex with a girl. In terms of our genetic programming, the two things are different. And I'm trying to remember what the point I was going to make actually was. Yes. So because of this, girls are wired to be more selective, and they want to know that they can actually trust a guy. Because if you go back to the caveman times, a guy could have great genes and be someone that appears to be good at raising children, but maybe he's just gonna impregnate a girl and then scarp her. Okay, and she doesn't want that to happen. If we go back to the caveman times, because obviously it's not like modern society is, and it's really important for the guy to be there to actually feed the child and help the child grow, and get to a stage where the reproduction cycle continues. So the point is, girls are wired to respond to honesty. And when you're honest, there's this thing called honest signals, which means that people can tell you're being honest. It just hits them in a way. There's just a genuine feel to it. Doesn't feel a bit off or a bit weird. And the girls massively respond to honesty. It's a huge one. So it's fantastic because you're actually going to be received a lot better when you're being honest, and your actual confidence will improve as well. So it's such a great way to go about and do this. And you could classify what I'm teaching guys as natural game, but it's so natural that it isn't even game. It's literally just honesty, raising your confidence, and then you can go out there and find girls that you naturally connect with. And also as well, when you're being super honest, it's massively important in these situations, whether it's meeting a girl in a nightclub or meeting a girl in town and setting up dates, because she wants to be able to trust you, and she's just met you. You're basically a stranger that's come over there and you're speaking to her. She doesn't know you yet. So being honest really builds trust, and it reduces flaking as well when girls don't text back. I have some videos I'm going to release on the texting side of things to help you out there. So yeah, being honest is massive. And if you're someone that's really into the player pickup type stuff, it's crazy that the honesty works so much better than all of that stuff. It's totally crazy, and it's probably shocking. And I'll show it in my public footage that honesty works an absolute treat. Because yeah, it's surprising for a lot of people just to see how well honesty actually works when it's done from the right place. And obviously, you're socially aware and socially intelligent, socially calibrated as well. So I'm just thinking if I've got any closing points to make on this particular topic. So I guess what I would encourage you to do is to actually go out there and get into state, just to experience what it's like if you haven't done so before, and just to see the effect it has. But then once you're able to go out there and talk to girls, just drop the warming up, drop the getting into state altogether, and go full on honest, full on connection, and you'll find that it really is a much better route to actually really get in there. It's a route to real transformation, right? And this is what I really teach. What I'm really teaching is transformation. I'm not teaching you how to scam girls into liking you, how to trick girls into liking you. I'm teaching you how to build your confidence up and get to a stage where you're naturally finding girls that like you and you're being yourself as well. So it's really that is really what I'm teaching, and I hope that in this particular video, I've got across this this important message really, which is that there's a lot to learn, a lot of truths and lessons you can get from getting yourself into state and going out there and interacting with girls. But ultimately, there's also a trap you can fall into where you become reliant on getting into state and warming up, and your general confidence then doesn't improve. But the key is to raise your baseline confidence and keep raising it, raising it, raising it. And facing your fears with honesty is the best way that I know to do this. And yeah, so I hope that you got some value from this video. I'm going to put out some public footage where I really demonstrate this and show you the value of just being honest. I can literally do approaches where I choose to be dishonest, then honest, dishonest, then honest, and you'll see the level of difference that it really makes. And yeah, I want to help guide you through the whole process and get you to a stage where you can go out there, be yourself, and get dates. So make sure you stay tuned. I have lots of cool content planned out. Have a great rest of your day, evening, or whatever time it is.